Welcome and thank you for listening to this Paragon Edge audio blog. The global payments industry is processing unprecedented volumes of digital transactions, but many banks continue to struggle with their efforts. Modernize their processing infrastructure at the pace consumers and shareholders demands. While real-time payments, new digital rails, and modern messaging standards continue to emerge, large financial institutions often find themselves idling in place, aware of what needs to be done but unable to execute without introducing what they perceive as unacceptable risk. This disconnect between opportunity and execution is not new, but its consequences are growing more severe. As the Payments Journal notes in a recent analysis of the evolving payments landscape, the industry is facing a structural bottleneck that is less about technology and more about institutional inertia. The article describes a system processing trillions of dollars annually that is paralyzed by payments innovation, not because solutions don't exist, but because organizations struggle to develop and implement new solutions quickly, safely, and confidently. This observation captures the reality that many financial institutions face. Payment environments are mission critical, highly regulated, and deeply interconnected. Any change, even one intended to improve operational performance, can ripple across systems, partners, and customers. The result is a culture of caution where innovation slows, new initiatives stall, and modernization efforts are repeatedly delayed or deferred. The Payments Journal essay emphasizes that this paralysis is not caused by a lack of ambition. Instead, it is driven by uncertainty. Banks cannot afford downtime or failure, yet their existing processes make it difficult to validate change without exposing the institution to risk associated with the very issues that they are trying to address. While legacy infrastructure is often blamed, the Payments Journal authors assert outdated operational practices are just as limiting. Paragon believes that one of the most significant yet least discussed constraints is a legacy approach to testing. Traditional payments testing was designed for a batch-based world with limited transaction paths and predictable behaviors. Today's payment ecosystems are real-time, multi-rail, and constantly evolving. Manual testing processes, along with outdated and often unsupported tools, cannot simulate the complexity of modern payment flows or provide confidence at scale. Without the ability to test end-to-end scenarios quickly, securely, and reliably, banks default to minimizing the amount of change they can undertake and digest. Innovation becomes incremental at best, and transformational efforts grind to a halt under the weight of institutional inertia. What distinguishes these industry-leading institutions from the rest of the pack is not simply scale or budget, but execution discipline. They have embraced automation, modular architectures, and continuous validation as core components of their payment strategy. By doing so, they reduce uncertainty and enable rapid, controlled, confident change. Rather than treating testing as a final hurdle, these banks embed it throughout the development lifecycle, allowing their respective organizations to efficiently develop and launch new products and services while managing risk and maintaining operational reliability. Research from ACI Worldwide reveals the depth of the problem. 55% of organizations say technology remains underused in their operations, despite billions invested in modernization, with three specific barriers impacting transformation initiatives across the marketplace: crushing compliance burdens spanning multiple jurisdictions, internal resistance from teams wary of disrupting systems that have worked for decades. Clearly, the existence of capable technology platforms does not automatically translate into successful adoption and modernization. Organizations still need the operational confidence to initiate, integrate, test, and deploy these new systems within their own environments. Investing in robust testing and validation capabilities can provide the confidence level companies need to optimize the use of all their technology platforms, both legacy and next-gen. This is precisely how Paragon's solutions help address some of the industry's most persistent challenges. Payments modernization does not fail because banks lack technology. It fails because they lack confidence in their ability to execute with excellence. Paragon's modern, robust testing tools and simulators are specifically designed to close that gap. By enabling comprehensive, automated testing across payment rails, message formats, and integration points, Paragon allows organizations to quickly and easily test and validate complex use cases associated with innovation, quickly, easily, and completely early in the development process, so any errors or defects can be identified and addressed well before they can reach production systems. This strategic approach to testing reduces reliance on manual processes, speeds up delivery cycles, and significantly lowers the risk associated with change. More importantly, Paragon solutions provide better visibility into the specific details of how payment messages are formed and processed. When teams can see how transactions behave across systems in real-world conditions, confidence replaces hesitation, and modernization efforts become more manageable, scalable, and repeatable. Payments transformation is not a single initiative. It is an ongoing process that requires trust in systems, processes, and partners. That trust is earned through validation. As the Payments Journal article demonstrates, the institutions that succeed are not those that avoid risk entirely, but those that manage it intelligently. With modern testing strategies, banks can move from legacy constraints to true agility, confidently, incrementally, and at scale. This is where Paragon's solutions provide practical, measurable value. Virtual ATM enables financial institutions to test ATM and card-based transaction flows thoroughly without relying on live networks or production environments, significantly reducing risk when making changes to critical payments infrastructure. At the same time, Web Fast Test allows banks to validate complex web-based payment interactions, message flows, and integrations across systems before deployment. Together, these products help institutions build confidence in change by proving that transactions will behave as expected end-to-end. That confidence is what ultimately allows banks to break free from payments paralysis and modernize without compromising stability or trust. The Payments Journal article makes it clear that the industry's bottleneck is not insurmountable. Banks and other payment processing companies that invest in confidence-building capabilities, particularly modern testing tools, are proving that payments innovation at scale is achievable. Testing should no longer be considered a back-office function. It is a strategic enabler that allows institutions to move faster without sacrificing S. For banks seeking to escape payments paralysis, the path forward does not begin with new rails, standards, or regulations. It begins with the ability to test inevitable change quickly, confidently, and securely. Thank you for listening today.